like it. I like it. And we're back again.
Again.
And again.
Forget about Fred again. It's Bryn and Renee again.
that was
It doesn't have the same ring to it, does it,
No,
really?
we'd have to be like...
Just pull in a blind.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
I was going to say like Pranay or
Pranay again.
Pranay again.
Pranay again. Pranay again.
And this is why we haven't come up with a DJ name.
Yes.
For myself.
This is why we stick to the podcasting for now.
To the podcasting.
Because we know how to yap, but we don't know how to come up with sick
Although,
names.
the mix that I did, I think it was like 2 days ago, I was just playing around.
Are you going to drop a mix online? Are you going to drop a mix on SoundCloud?
Girl, have I even figured out how to record a mix? I can do it live.
We need to get that.
I think I'm going to... I do want to do the TikToks I do. I just need to like set it up ready. So obviously... I'm moving home this week.
Yeah.
Guys, it's the end of me being in Leicester.
It's the end of Leicester.
For now.
Oh my God, it's gone so fast.
It's gone rapid. So I'm moving back home and yeah, I'm going to do have a setup so that I can actually record myself. Because the way it is right now, I'm right up against the wall. There's nowhere to put the camera. You won't be able to see anything other than my locks. So yeah, but we're finished, man.
I can't believe that you finished uni.
That's flown, man. I feel like I need like another year, but without the stress and the assignments.
So just basically to live in Leicester for another year.
Yeah. I don't know.
How are you feeling? Like, how are you feeling about, forget about leaving Leicester, but how are you feeling about just finishing the degree?
I feel good. Mm-hmm. Results come out soon, I think. I believe results are coming out in July.
Okay.
I've had all my results back for every single assignment. So really, I could work it out. But do I want to do that to myself?
Really?
I do want to do it, but at the same time I don't because I don't want to be disappointed.
Let me do it and I won't tell you.
Oh, fine.
I just want to know.
Because people say to me that if you get like, say I got like 69, 70 is the first, they might round up.
Yeah, they can do. It does happen.
But who chooses that? Because if it's like Adele, who was one of my greatest lecturers.
Hope you're not listening to Adele.
Yeah, I feel like she would do it.
She would? Okay, I hope you are listening to
Yeah,
Adele.
I feel like she would do it, but then, I don't know. I thought
I don't know
it goes
who
to external
decides.
people.
I don't know how it works, but I know that it can get rounded up if you've done like, it depends what the higher grades are in. If they're in like the core modules and stuff, then it can.
I hope they don't look at my attendance.
No, they don't. They don't care.
Okay,
they honestly don't care about that. They only care whilst you're there. But then even then, they don't really care.
I was going to say half of them don't turn up. So
exactly. I just can't. You've smashed it. Honestly, you've been working so hard the whole time from the get go, and I'm really proud of you. Like, not even to just be like, because you already tried the uni thing, and you were like, nah, this isn't for me. So to come back and like to give it your all, and you have put in like 110% from the beginning. So I am really proud of you.
Thank you, girl.
Can't wait to get those grades. So you've got no more stress of actual coursework and stuff, but then you've got I just feel like it was yesterday for me, and it's been one whole year. Like, what's the date today? The 23rd, 22nd?
24th.
24th? What? Oh, okay. I don't even know what date it is. 24th. So in 6 days, it will have been 1 year since I moved out of my final year house.
Interesting.
And it makes me feel sick because it feels like just yesterday. And I remember that feeling. But it's different. Like, I want to know how it feels for you, because obviously, like, I was living like Liverpool is much further away for one, and I was living with like 5 of the girls, and I knew I was going to be getting to move in with James, and I knew I could just transfer from Nando's in Liverpool to Birmingham. So as much as it was like really stressful, I still had like a lot of certainty in what I was doing, but I feel like you have a lot of uncertainty, so I want to know how you're feeling right now.
Uncertainty is an understatement. Like, everything is just up in the air. Every single aspect of my life, work, living situations, who I want to be around, how am I going to be feeling? Like, I just don't know what's going to happen. Like, the only thing I know for sure is that come Sunday, I will be sleeping in Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
Is it because it's Wolverhampton, or is it like the idea of moving back in with your mom, or like what?
It's both.
Tell me what's going on.
It's both, because like, obviously, like, I've got a lot of friends in Wolves.
Yeah.
Love them. They're the best people ever.
They are.
But I've always been like, I feel like I've always been a bit of an anomaly anyway. Like, I've always been out, as much as I was living in Wolves before, I was always out of town.
Yeah.
Like, I was always going to visit someone in like Leeds, Manchester, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like, I was never really there. The only time I was staying there was to go to my job.
Yeah.
And that was it. So like, there's nothing really there for me. And I feel like first of all, Wolverhampton as a city, it's not like on a come up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
unfortunately.
Why is everyone like, why is Gorgeous the place to go to on a night out?
It makes me
If
feel
you know,
unwell.
you know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bring back 80s terrace. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. So like, or like even the city centre to go shopping, like it's not exactly like, it's not a fun experience. It just looks a bit dead. It's a bit dead. And I'm just like, I'm at an age where I'm really curious about everything. Like I just want to be everywhere. So really, it could be a smart move going back home because I could, the money that I'm not spending on rent could go towards that. But at the same time, if I go back home, I'm not working, essentially.
Yeah.
Not right now anyway. So like, it's not like I can go out and just spend money willy-nilly. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm just a bit, I feel like I need to talk to someone who done both.
Okay.
No, like for Ellie example, like she's gone back home after traveling, but she's also been traveling and like done some stuff. Whereas me now, like I'm at a situation where like, oh, so what do I do? I thought, should I just go on holiday? Do like a solo trip?
You've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah. But also scary.
It is scary, but it's exciting. You've got a lot of options, and I feel like that's what you're struggling with.
Yeah.
Because if you had no choice, if like you just had to move back home, you'd be like, okay, well, I've got no choice.
Yeah.
But because you've got options, like, well, you could move back home, but like you could stay in Leicester, or you could go traveling, or you could, do you know what I mean? You could move to a different city altogether.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what's the right thing?
Exactly.
To
and
do?
there's like whole anxiety because I don't want to choose the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to stay in Leicester and then be struggling. Not to say that I would be, because there's like, as I said, like there's an opportunity for me here to just stay and carry on working. But at the same time, I just don't know.
It's too hard. I feel like, I mean, I don't know about you, but like I felt pressure leaving uni because of us being older.
Yeah. Another thing.
It's like another layer to it. Like I feel like if we'd have left uni at like 21, 22, like the average age, I guess, you're so young, and we are still so young, so I don't mean this in like, oh, we're so old, don't mean it like that, and I think we've touched on this in other episodes, but you are so young, and it's like such a normal thing to like take a gap year, to maybe go traveling, to like not have it all figured out. But because we're 26 now, and it feels like we've got friends that, don't get me wrong, we've got friends that are literally traveling the world and stuff, but we've also got friends that have got like mortgages and like getting married and stuff, so it's like it feels like there's a bit more of a pressure to leave uni now and kind of like be like, right, what's the next step in my life? Like it needs to be solid. I need to know what I'm doing, where in reality, like you don't need to know. And even if you try something out for a little bit, let's say you move back to your mum's and you're like, do you know what, I'm going to give it a go, and you do it for 2-3 months and then you're like, this isn't for me. At least you've tried it, and then you can think about what your other options are. Or if you stay in Leicester, I mean, it's different then because you'll be signing a contract for somewhere if you move somewhere, but you know that you would be happy if you stayed here.
Yeah.
Staying here wouldn't make you unhappy. I feel like you just feel like it might not be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I don't know. I envy like people like my cousins, for instance, like Leon.
Yeah.
Like he was working, he was playing football, he was doing whatever here, he was solid, he had a message, he was settling down.
Yeah. And
then he just wasn't. He lives in Australia, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how did you get from there to there? And like, how did that, it just work, it looked like it worked out perfectly for him.
But it wouldn't have. And if you sat down and had that kind of conversation with him, you'll realise that it wasn't that easy. Like most of the people that I know of that have gone travelling, it hasn't been just some overnight thing. They didn't just wake up the next day and go, fuck it, I've got to spare 10 grand, I'm going to go move to Australia. Do you know what I mean? Like there's been so much thought and planning, and it is a big and difficult decision to make, to leave everyone and everything that you know and start a whole new life somewhere. It's amazing. But it's a really big decision to make. So you've got a lot of really big decisions to make.
I feel like I'm back in the place where like, so you know the between finishing like working full time to like the transition to becoming a student again. Like I feel like I'm back in that transition period, and I don't know what to do because like I don't work in like a generic 9-to-5 type. It doesn't work for me. Like I'm too hands-on with stuff. Like if I'm going to do labour, I'll pull pallets. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's not a financially smart idea. Like I don't want to be that person that's just stuck in Morrison's or stuck in a warehouse, for instance, and there's nothing like going for them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, how do you, like, where's the avenue to go? They're like, oh, you just need to try different careers. But then It's not as easy as trying different careers. Like, if
No,
that
you
was
can't
easy,
just do a job for a
I would have a
week.
job. Do you know what I'm saying?
And that's another element that adds to the uncertainty, is that you're applying for jobs, and like that's such a hard thing at the minute is to find a job.
Yeah, and I'm at a point now, like, I've applied for roles that I was supposed to apply for after doing my degree. I've applied for jobs that maybe my CV suits as well. But now I'm at a point where, like, well, what is it that I actually want to do?
That's the thing. It's a tough decision because, like, I don't think anyone ever, like, it feels like such a cliche, but I don't think anyone ever knows what they really want to do.
But then I always see, like, people are just like, I see, like, people doing what it's like they started it and then they kind of fell in love with it.
Yeah. But that's what happens most of the time.
I mean, yeah.
Because it's the people as well, like, that you end up working with. I feel like it's like, I don't think anyone finishes uni and is like, right, I've just spent 3 years doing this degree. That's exactly what I want to do. Like, unless you do a really specific subject like medicine or law, and it's got a much clearer route, it's still not easy. But when you've got such a broad degree, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You could apply that to so many things. So it's not easy to walk out of it knowing exactly what you want to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, how was it for you when you, like, you finished, how long was you not working, like,
the job that I thought I wanted to do?
Yeah.
Probably, well, I left uni in June and I started the job I currently do in the October.
Yeah.
But in those months, like, even before I left Liverpool, I was applying for jobs already for, like, what you've been doing. And I was probably applying for jobs from, like, early May until the end of September. And I applied for easily over 100 jobs. I had an Excel spreadsheet. It was ridiculous. Some of them to this day I've still never heard back from. And I was in this, like, manic, like, I need to find something. And I was working at Nando's in Birmingham, and it was hard because I'd moved in with James. He was working a 9 to 5. I was finishing work sometimes at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So, like, our schedules not being aligned was really difficult. But then I look back and there are parts of working in hospitality that I do miss. I miss being able to have, like, a random day off in the week.
Yeah.
I miss being able to just start work a bit later in the day. I miss, like, that interaction as well, like that level of it. So it's hard because I feel like with hospitality, if the hours were just a bit better and the pay was a bit better, then most people...
It's literally the perfect job.
That's what I mean. Especially for people like us and we're proper, like, people. Do you know what I mean? We enjoy that interaction with customers and stuff. But I was really in my head about it, and I was seeing people finding jobs really quick that I went to uni with. The girls that I lived with and, like, my closest friends at uni, to be fair, none of us really knew what we were doing, and, like, a couple of the girls knew they wanted to go traveling. We were all still figuring it out, so I didn't have that pressure, which was nice. Like, if they'd have all gone straight into their careers, I think I would have found that really difficult. But we were all kind of in the same situation. But I felt like, I shouldn't be, I don't know, it's really bad. I had a conversation with my manager about this earlier because I felt this, like, what am I still doing here when I've got a degree? Yeah. Which is ridiculous as well, because at the end of the day, a job's a job. Like, I feel like there's this massive, like, stigma, like, stereotype, maybe stigma as well, about people that work in certain fields. So, like, for some reason, well, not for some reason, I understand why, but, like, an office job is viewed as better than working in a restaurant. And, like, it generally is because the pay is better, but not always.
Yeah, facts.
Like, not always is that the case. And you could be working in an office and earning, like, just above minimum wage, but in the form of a salary. And you could be working in hospitality and taking more than that because you were getting tips, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all about doing what's best for you. And to be fair, I'm still happy because I wanted the routine. It wasn't just about the money. I wanted the routine and I wanted to keep building on my skills. And I felt like at Nando's I used to go to work and I used to, like, switch off my brain and do my job for 6 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours. Like, I didn't need to use my brain. And for me, that's always been such an important thing. Like, I want to be constantly, like, being challenged and being able to be creative in some way. And that I wasn't fulfilled. But that's not to say that there aren't people that can do that job and feel fulfilled in some way.
Well, yeah. I mean, my mom does it. She's been working at Morrison's for north of 35 years.
Exactly. And she loves it.
She loves it. Like, this girl's opting to do 6 days a week. And I'm like...
She's like, sign me up for another day.
Innit? Retire, you know what I mean? Like,
that's what I mean.
It's a lot, but...
So I feel like there's a pressure to leave uni and be like... And don't get me wrong, I completely understand it and I do get it. You've worked really hard for your degree. So, like, ideally you want to go into something that, like, requires a degree or is a higher pay because you've just got into, like, 60 grand's worth of debt at university. So, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But also, like, I don't feel like if you don't actually know what you want to do, I don't feel like you should feel super pressured into going into an office or
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, think about what do you want to get out of a job? How do you want to feel when you finish work?
The only reason, like, say I go home now and I'll be obviously applying for less skilled jobs, let's just say. So say I apply to work in a shop or in a warehouse, whatever. Like, I'd only be doing it for money. And the way my mindset works is, how can I get the most money out of doing this? Probably working nights, or probably working in a more senior position, like supervisor or something like that.
And you've done that?
Which I've done, yeah, but it's not fulfilling. Like, I feel like it I don't know, I feel like if I go back down that route, I'm going to get stuck in that route. Like, I don't think I'll be able to come back out of it. Do you know what I'm saying?
And you really didn't, like, you didn't hate it. You felt like stuck in it.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you've already experienced that. So I don't think you want to go back into that route. But I feel like it's something they should speak about at uni more, and just in school more, and in life more. But I feel like the way I think about it is like, how do I want to feel at the end of the day? How do I want to feel at the end of the week? When I talk to people about my job, do I want to be excited when I talk about it? Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to feel fulfilled in your job. And like, the money is important, but it is about so much more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think at the start as well, like before I hit management and I was just working as a colleague, it was probably the most fun I was having. Like,
you didn't have the stress.
Yeah. I was at pub every Friday. Like, I was seeing my friends, and then obviously you move up, you have more responsibility, you have less time.
Yeah.
Everything becomes surrounded, then it becomes like a jarring situation.
Exactly. And also, that is like, it's good to move up and have that responsibility, but like right now, when you don't know what you want to do, you don't necessarily want to walk straight into somewhere where you're going to be stressed.
Yeah. I was speaking to one of my lecturers about it actually, and she was like, the problem with it is with like a lot of the people who go to like university or from the UK, like they're not well travelled, like they've not really seen a lot. And she was like, when she went to uni, she was basically living on the streets, working nights all the time so that she could afford a place, and then she was renting out rooms, and that's how she was making money. Then when she finished uni, she just left, she just got on a plane, went somewhere, and she was seeing how other people were living and how they were making money. She was like, it opened her eyes to so much. And now she's probably one of the most successful lecturers at the university. Like, she has her own businesses, she's got like a family and whatever. Like, she's doing her thing, and she's like, she doesn't come to work because she has to. She comes there because she likes teaching people.
Exactly.
But which is what was good about Rachel, is that she would talk about her own personal experiences. Same with Adele. Yeah. Personal experiences. And those are the people that I was like, oh, I want to be like these. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, it's inspiring.
Yeah. So, but for me now, I feel like I'm stuck and I don't know like where to start the path. I need a mentor.
Do you know what though? That is not even like a bad shout. Like, stuff like that, just having someone to speak to, and also I think you need to get out of your head that. Well, you need to get out of your own head for one. And you need to get it out of your head that you need to know like the next thing you do is going to be it. That's not the next thing you do. Is not going to be the thing you do until you retire when you're 65 or probably 85 by the time we're allowed to retire. But like, it's just not going to be. And if you do something, like, obviously you don't want like loads of chops and changes in your CV and all this stuff, but if you do something for a few months or you do something for a year and you're like, this isn't for me, and you do something else, that is not the end of the world. Or even if you do something to fund other things that you like if you do something so that you can go on all these solo trips to do that. Like, if you say, right, for the next year I want to have loads of solo trip experiences, so I'm going to stay working in hospitality because it's flexible. I can earn money. I know if I smash out the hours, I can earn money, and I'm sound with my manager, and I can say, listen, I'm having 2 weeks off. You don't even have to go 2 weeks off unpaid if you've not got any holiday. And you can go do some traveling, and you do that for a year and experience. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to sit down and kind of think about all of your options, and then think about which one is truly going to make you the happiest, because right now that should be your main focus. You don't have kids, you don't have a mortgage, you've got nothing tying you down.
Literally.
Having all this choice isn't a bad thing. There are people out there that have no choice but to do whatever their path ends up being. Like, having all these choices is a good thing.
I feel like that's what it is, because it started out being like that. So where I'm in a position where, like, realistic, like, other than uni, I don't have any debts. I don't have anything. I'm like, like, it's like I've been given my own path and I don't know what to do with it. Because I've never had to think about it. It was just like, go work, get some money, go out with your mates. You know what I mean?
And now you've got like all of these balls and you're like, oh my God, what do I do?
But yeah, if anyone, I just need a mentor. I think
if anyone wants to be Renee's mentor and is listening to this right now, then please let us know.
And the thing is, I have a lot to give as well. Like, especially when I'm working for someone, like, I'm not like, I'm always giving it more than I need to. Like,
you are
my
a
boss
hard
is
worker.
like, I need reviews today. Best believe if you search Google ZZ Foss Park, you will see the reviews. Ollie's beating me right now, which is jarring. But last month I got 50 quid out of it. Like, I'm that person. Like, if he says to do something and I will get something from it, I'm the first person there.
And it's hard because you don't get to showcase that in an interview. Yeah. You don't get to...
Or even on your CV, like, they judge you based off, like, factual things that a typical person would do at a job.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I don't really agree with the system, but...
Everyone can say that they've got certain skills or that they've done certain things on their CV. And it's hard. I feel like I do think you can prove yourself so much more in an interview because once they see your personality and you can teach someone the skills. I was literally saying this earlier. You can teach someone the skills. You can teach someone a job, but you can't teach someone to have a personality. You can't teach them to get on with the other staff in the team. Do you know what I mean? Like, that stuff is who a person is. And I think, obviously dependent on the job, because there are some things where, like, they don't want someone coming in and having no knowledge of the job at all. Yeah. But I feel like you should be employed more on that, on your personality, on how you are, because
it like cultivates the culture in the company. Yeah. It keeps people there. Like, if there's one thing, I reckon more people will probably stay at jobs if they felt more comfortable there.
100%.
Like, it's not always the money. And I feel like I find that a lot in your typical, like, working man jobs. You know what I'm saying? Retail, hospitality, whatever it is, where, like, you have to talk to people and you have to, like, provide a service. Like, I'm very much a service provider. Like, I like making people happy. Like, even yesterday, like, there was a little girl, she was like, I was talking to her, I was like, oh, did you enjoy your food? She's like, oh my God, it was so good, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, look what's in my pockets. I'm now having a conversation with a 4-year-old. And it's just like, it's mad. And she was like, I was like, oh, well, looks what's in my pocket. Review card. Give that to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, mate. Fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't really get that.
And you are so good at that.
Yeah, but it's just like, things like that won't get me to where I want to be, which is essentially an elite. It might be a bit far-fetched.
Renee wants to be an elitist.
You know,
no, but
you
want to be, like, financially. You want financial freedom.
Yeah, I want to break the curve in our, like, generation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like, I don't want the following generations to live how we did, the same way our parents didn't want us to
provide that level of, like, generational wealth to, like, our
like,
kids
I want us to be
stuff.
I want us to have at least experienced that. Yeah, which is good because, to be honest, in our family, my cousins are all doing very well. Ryan's doing very well. Yeah. Tia's doing very well. Ebony's smashing it, mate. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, my cousins are across the world. This man's doing crazy in finance. And there's little old me just graduating university, like, oh, what do I do?
Well, you're not just graduating. That's what I mean. Like, graduating university in itself is incredible. Yeah. Like, that is such a massive achievement. The amount of people that go to uni and don't finish it the first time, that was you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, to come back, that in itself, so, like, you need to start enjoying the now a little bit more, because you look back, like, I look back now and I think I was so stressed when I finished uni, and now a whole year's passed. I've been in my job for, like, what, 9 months? Like 9 months, and it's like so much time has passed. And I remember when I left uni thinking, like, what the hell is next? Like, I was in uni for 4 years because I did foundation year. So I've been in Liverpool for 3 years, and it was so scary. And don't get me wrong, like, sometimes I do look back and think, oh, I wonder what life would have been like if I'd have decided to stay in Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you can't live like that. And I love my life now, like I do.
I was going to say, like, after you finish uni, like, it's probably the happiest I've seen you in ages. And I feel like you've got, like, a lot of more things, like, under control. Like, you still have, like, your fun weekends, and you still have that, like, time with your friends and time with your guy and that. So, like,
kind of like balance.
I feel like you found that balance very well. I kind of envy it, to be honest. I was like,
but I am also a year down the line from where. Yeah. And our paths are not the same. They never have been, Renee. We have never been doing the same thing at the same time, other than we both ended up at uni for the same time for, like, a year. But, like, we've never been doing the same thing, and we always end up on top in the end. Yeah. Like, the whole reason why you went to uni in the first place was to branch out and to broaden your horizons, and you've done that. And now you've left uni with so much choice, and I'm like, that you're overwhelmed by it. Yeah. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, and it's really, really exciting. But I do think it's also not easy. And I think, like, we're talking about the job thing, which is a massive thing, and then, like, the moving home thing. But
it's like, where do you go next?
Yeah, it's just a big what next. Like, I wrote an article about this. I think I've probably spoken about this on a podcast before, but it's, like, based on a book by Sylvia Plath. And it's basically about, like, this woman is sat under this fig tree and she sees all of the figs on the tree and they're all like really juicy, and each fig is a future she could have if she takes a bite of that fig. So one of them's like a husband, one's kids, one's like a career, like whatever the career she wants is, one's like, so one could be like a very like traditional career, like being a doctor, and then one could be like being an actress, like all these amazing things. And she sits there like, oh my God, I don't know which one to choose, until they all start to rot and just fall on the floor because she's missing the opportunities.
Yeah.
So like I always think like the point in the article I wrote was like, if you just take a bite of a fig, if you don't like it, the rest will still be ripe enough for you to take a bite. But if you sit at the bottom of that tree and wait for them all to rot, you're not going to get to try any of them. So just pick something and try it. Put it in a hat. Spin it around and say, this is what I'm gonna do. Maybe don't do that. Maybe actually think, I'm a pros and cons list kind of girl. So
yeah, but I'm more of a pick it out of a hat. And
you are super spontaneous.
I don't know.
You are the most spontaneous person I know. You always have been.
Down, put them in the hat. I'm gonna make you choose.
Oh, brilliant. So now I've got to live with the stress and the guilt.
I would have put all the things in there. So like any of them really, I should be happy with.
I know. You just have to think, you don't have to keep thinking as long term. Like I think you keep thinking like end goal. Like what's the next thing I'm gonna do? Is that gonna get me closer to financial freedom? It might not. Sometimes you take a step back before you take a few steps forward again. Do you know what I mean? Just trying something out. Or it might even be a step back, but it might just keep you at the same level you're at now.
I feel so like hardwired, like away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was being raised, so like if you don't make this, you won't be able to have this. And I'm the type of person who wants everything.
Yeah.
Like I want everything. So
you are set in that mindset, and you need to kind of try and like
compress it a little bit and be like, okay, enjoy life.
Literally just enjoy life.
Enjoy life, and just maybe something will come throughout my enjoyment. Maybe I don't know, I might meet a mentor in freaking Lincolnshire and be like, oh, well, this person was really cool. And
this is what I mean. I'm gonna ask you again. I'm gonna make a reminder in my phone. Lucy did this for me once. It was for a different reason. It was when I broke up with someone, and she was like, I'm gonna ask you in a year how you feel. I'm gonna ask you in 1 year's time. I'm gonna put a reminder in my phone now, and I'm gonna ask you, how do you feel in 1 year's time?
I think we do a video on it.
Yeah.
You know how like
on this exact day.
The Billie Eilish one.
Yeah,
we'll do
every
that.
year. So what's the 24th?
It's 24th today.
So 24th of June every year now. You guys heard it here first. We're going to sit down and we're going to do an episode. We're going to talk about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like where we are and how, and reflect on the last year. And you are going to be like, your mind is going to be blown at how different your perspective is on things, and like all the cool things you're going to be able to talk about that you tried out, and whether they failed or not, it doesn't matter. And I'll be here to remind you of that.
Yeah.
And you can have to remind me of that as well, because I don't practice what I preach. So as much as I'm saying all this to you, there'll be moments. I have an existential crisis every day. It's been a year since I left uni, and I'm happy in what I'm doing, but there's still days where I think, should I be moving to Australia? Yeah. My friends are all moving to Australia.
Should I go?
Should I be going travelling for 6 months? Like, should I be like just moving to a different part of the country? Like, should I be moving to Manchester? Like, am I living my 20s? But at the end of the day, like, I am living my 20s for how I want to.
Yeah.
It's not the same way that other people might be doing it, but like, I'm happy.
Yeah. Oh, girl.
You will be happy. You are happy.
I am happy.
You're happy. You're
I'm
just
happy.
stressed.
Just I just don't. I'm just a bit lost right now, but we'll get there, guys. You'll see it. You'll be here with us.
I feel like this was me mentoring you this episode. I don't know if I did a very good job.
Maybe it's just what I needed. I just needed a little chat with you, and then maybe it will help me. Who knows?
It will. It will help you because I'm amazing.
You are amazing.
No, I'm joking. But it will help. It helps to talk about it, and I think you should definitely just speak to like more of our friends and just get their opinions on it. But don't like. It's good to get people's opinions, but you don't want that to like. You don't want that to be the only reason you're doing that thing is because X person said this. Like, you've got to take into account how you know you'll feel.
Yeah. Man.
That was a heavy one.
But
it was good.
It was good, man.
Let's get it all out.
I hope you guys can, anyone that's in my position, I hope you can take something away. I feel like Prince said some very inspirational / motivational words there. So
I feel like pretty much everyone that's listening now will have had a moment in their life when they're like, what is next? So whether you went to uni or not, like say if you finished school and you decided not to go to uni, that was a really big decision to make, to decide not to go to uni, to decide to get a job. Do you know what I mean? Or if you did go to uni, you had to figure it out then. Like, anyone listening to this now will have had that what the hell do I do next moment. And just tell us how you got through that. Like, what did you do? Like, how do you feel now when you reflect back on that? Do you have any tips for for Renee and for me, because I still have that whole, oh my God, am I doing the right thing, like, moment. But I feel like there's not a single person on the planet that can't relate to that feeling.
Yeah, true.
More people just need to talk about it. People don't like to talk about like when they're struggling or like the struggles. Like people just want to talk about how they, like where they are now, but they don't want to talk about how they got there. Yeah. And there's going to be like CEOs of like multi-billion pound companies that have had that, but there are some that are out there talking about it, but then a lot of people are just like, this is where I am now, but they don't talk about like how hard it was to figure it out. So it's not just us.
Not just us guys, but yeah. So yeah, as Princess, tell us what you did next if you ever felt like this. Drop us in the comments, drop us on Instagram, DM us, whatever, however you want to do it. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to that.
That's us.
If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to us. We would really appreciate you guys. Drop us a comment, drop us a like. Spotify, 5-star rating, you know the drill. Would be much preferable for us.
Of course. We want to see the love.
Yeah. Prin. Let me say the line. Prin, where can they find us?
You can find us on both Instagram and TikTok at branchingout_. And then if you want to drop us an email, it's branchingoutpodcast2023@outlook.com. Please get in touch with us, guys. We love it.
Awesome. So thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Peace.
I know you want me to.